Hey everyone, it's Lisa Coe, and welcome to my field experience reflection. I had the pleasure of working with Ms. B. She taught kindergarten at Palencia Elementary School, and I was there from September 23rd to October 25th. It's amazing the bonds that you can develop with students in such a short period of time. They all left a very lasting impression on me, and two of the kids gave me some cards wishing me well and saying that I was going to be a very great teacher. It was just a really wonderful experience for this practicum. Over my last practicum, I was able to see how well behaved a kindergarten class can be if there's structure. There was a lot of structure. The centers, transitions between centers were smooth and probably took less than a minute, maybe a minute and a half at the most, to go from center to center. My only disappointment with the centers was before they started, they received instructions on every single one, and they had 5. That's a lot of instructions for kindergartners to remember and take back and be expected to remember, recall these directions they received. So there wasn't much patience when they came to the teacher asking, what do we do here again? How do we do this again? So I want to make sure that, when centers come around, I provide examples for the students to refer to kind of help prompt their recall process on the directions and just see examples of how they need to complete the worksheets that they were provided for those. One of my favorite things to watch about the English language arts block was the encouragement of children authors. I know that Walter Sawyer discussed children as authors, storytellers, and illustrators in his text Growing Up with Literature on page 214. Ms. Bay would provide a prompt that said what I did over the weekend. The students would talk to their peers during reading circle, and then they would go back to their desks, get their language arts journal, draw an illustration, and write a sentence or two about what they did, and then they would visit 3 peers, explain the illustration to their peers, and read their little 2 or 3 sentence story that they made. And then the peer they read to had to sign their journal as proof that they did visit 3 peers. I thought that was really encouraging and a great way to get them thinking about being authors and writing and speaking to others and reading stories to others. My read aloud went very well. I was a little nervous in the beginning, but we read Why Do Leaves Change Colors? And there was a big word I thought was a big word for kindergarten. It was chlorophyll, but the students had no hesitation saying it and repeating the word after me. And then I asked them while I read the book every time they heard chlorophyll to raise their hands. I could quickly see how read alouds could get a little bit out of control with the excitement of being interactive with the story. So just to remind myself to come up with ways to gain their attention, redirect their attention back to the read aloud quickly, but still keep that fun part of the read aloud too, because they enjoyed it so much. And I asked about 11 different questions. Some of the vocabulary words I demonstrated, like shiver for cold or wind, that were in the story, and they really enjoyed the interaction that we had with that read aloud. I did see social studies integrated into the curriculum. My first week that I was there, they were celebrating Johnny Appleseed. They had a lot of hands-on activities to do with Johnny Appleseed. They read a really great book about Johnny Appleseed. They even included a bar graph on which apples the students liked the most, red, green, or yellow, and that was fun to watch and be a part of. Ms. B also provides each student with a task, and one of the tasks was having a student go over the days of the week. They had a pointer and they would point to Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on, and the students would all repeat those. And they would also discuss the calendar. Today is, yesterday was, tomorrow is. So that was a really neat way to incorporate social studies on a daily routine. My lesson I taught was actually social studies. It was on communities. My pre-assessment went rather well. The students were excited and engaged again by the questions that I had to ask. The excitement of talking about their library at the school being part of their community, the playground being part of the community, and all the different communities that are on the outskirts of Palencia. There's several different neighborhoods. So they really enjoyed the warm-up activity. I would say probably 85% of the students kind of had an idea of community by the time the warm-up was done, and then the main instruction. And at the end, the post-assessment was a worksheet with a blank square at top They were asked to draw me an illustration of their favorite place in their community and tell me a little bit about their community. And when I looked at this post-assessment, I noticed that all the kids actually understood community quite well. And we continued the week with community helpers, so that was helpful as well to instill the idea of community with the students. One of the great things that I performed for the first time with students was a graphic organizer, and that was part of our warm-up. So we had community in the middle, and all the kids would call out places in their community as I would write them down, and that was a really great interactive strategy with them as well. Overall, I had a wonderful experience. There are some things that I've learned that I want to try to have more patience with, things that I want to incorporate in my classroom that I learned by just being there. And it really got me excited about teaching in my future classroom. Thank you for listening to my field experience. Have a great day.